Hey everyone, and welcome. So today we are digging into one of the biggest questions on the planet. How are we going to feed everybody? You know, the first green revolution, that was all about mechanization, right? Tractors, combines. But the next one, it might just be powered by code. We're going to explore how artificial intelligence is, quite literally, taking root in our fields. So let's get right into it.
Okay, 10 billion. Just let that number hang in the air for a second.
Yeah, that's the number of people we're going to have to feed by the year 2050. 10 billion. And frankly, it's a challenge our current way of farming is really struggling to meet. So, look, for a huge chunk of the 20th century, we had an answer. Bigger, better machines. Tractors, combine harvesters. And they worked. They boosted yields by a whopping 60%. But things have changed. Today, farmers are up against this perfect storm, right? You've got climate change, not enough water, and land that's just getting worn out. The old playbook of just build a bigger tractor, yeah, that's just not going to cut it anymore for these super complex, tangled up problems. And that's where a totally new kind of tool comes into play. It's not made of steel, nope, it's made of data. We're talking about artificial intelligence and machine learning, and they are promising to completely change the game, making farming smarter, way more precise, and hopefully a lot more sustainable. Okay, so what is all this stuff, really? Let's break it down. AI, artificial intelligence, is basically about getting machines to do tasks that normally need a human brain. Think about it. Recognizing things, making decisions, solving tricky problems. And machine learning, or ML, that's kind of the engine that powers the whole thing. The best way to think about it is like a super detective. It can sift through just mountains of data, from soil sensors, drones, you name it, and spot these tiny, subtle patterns that a person would never see, like, say, the very first signs of a crop disease. And the coolest part? It's always learning, always getting smarter. All right, so this all sounds amazing, right? Like science fiction. But here's the real question, the one that actually matters. Does any of this stuff actually work? Out in the real world, in the dirt and under the sun?
Well, it turns out we have the receipts. Researchers went and pulled together the results from 95, that's 95 different scientific studies from the past 10 years. They crunched all the numbers on how AI is actually performing, and let me tell you, the results are pretty darn compelling.
Okay, get this. The results are, honestly, they're staggering. On average, farms that use these AI-driven insights saw their crop yields go up by 25%. I mean, just stop and think about that for a second. A quarter more food from the exact same piece of land. That is a huge leap in productivity. And it's not just about more food. The efficiency gains are just as mind-blowing. Take water, for instance. By using smart irrigation systems, the ones that give crops water exactly when and where they need it, farmers cut their water use by an average of 22%. In a world that's getting thirstier and thirstier, that is an absolute game changer. And the savings just keep on coming. Let's talk fertilizer. With AI guiding exactly where to put it, we're seeing a 28% drop in how much is used. And that's a double win, right? It saves the farmer money, for sure, but it also means less of that chemical gunk running off into our rivers and lakes. Now, we can get even more granular. Look at how we protect crops. There are these AI models, they're called convolutional neural networks, or CNNs, that can spot pests and diseases just from a picture with 94% accuracy. That's incredible. And because you can catch it so early and be so precise, you can treat just the problem area, leading to an 18% drop in overall pesticide use. Here's where it gets really interesting, because not all AI is the same, and this tells us a lot about the people doing the farming. So you have these deep learning models, right? They're the most accurate, 93%, but they're a total black box. You have no idea why it's telling you to do something. Now compare that to simpler decision trees. Yeah, they're less accurate, but you can see their logic, it's totally transparent. And now look at the adoption rates. Farmers are actually choosing the tool they can understand and trust more often than the one that's technically better. It's such a powerful reminder that this isn't just about robots and automation, it's about giving farmers tools they can believe in. So you see all these amazing numbers, and you think, wow, every single farm must be jumping on this bandwagon. But that's just not what we're seeing. So what gives? Why isn't every farm an AI farm?
Well, the truth is, the road from the research lab to a muddy field is full of some pretty major bumps. It's time for a little reality check.
Okay, hurdle number one, and it's a big one: money. The initial cost to get set up with all this stuff, the sensors, the software, everything, we're talking anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000 per farm. For a lot of small and medium sized farms, that's just a non starter.
And it's not just about the cash. This goes way deeper. It's about trust. Get this. A whopping 65% of farmers say they will not share their farm's data unless they're guaranteed to own it and know it's secure. I mean, it makes sense, right? They want to know who's got their data and what they're doing with it. And the list of problems just keeps going. I mean, think about it. You need good internet for this stuff, but only about a third of farms in rural areas actually have it. Or what about the fact that you might buy a system from company A and another from company B, and they just refuse to talk to each other? Total nightmare. And then you've got biased algorithms that work great in one part of the country, but not another. These are all serious, real-world roadblocks standing in the way.
But okay, these challenges are tough, but they're not impossible to overcome. So let's pivot and look at the path forward. How can we actually build a future where this kind of smart farming isn't just for a select few, but becomes a reality for everyone? The key here is that it's not about one single magic bullet. It's about smart integration. First up, you combine AI with all those little Internet of Things sensors out in the field. Boom, your decision-making gets way more efficient. Next, you pair AI with robotics, and suddenly you're slashing costs on labor and supplies. Then, you bring in something like blockchain to make the whole food supply chain transparent and trustworthy. But, and this is the big one, none of this works with smart policy. We need rules of the road that protect farmers' data and make sure everyone has a fair shot at getting in on this. And what's so crucial to remember is that there is no one-size-fits-all solution here. For a huge industrial-scale farm, yeah, the future probably looks like giant automated combines. But for the millions of small family farms all over the world, the answer could be something as simple and powerful as a cheap app on their phone that can diagnose a sick plant from a single photo. The amazing thing is, both paths lead to incredible results. So here we are standing at a pretty major crossroads. The technology we need to feed 10 billion people and to do it more sustainably, it already exists. AI is showing us a clear path forward. The real question, the one we have to ask ourselves, isn't about the code or the machines anymore. It's about us. Are we going to build a future where that path is actually open to everyone?